Assalamu alaikum dear students. We have week number 13 and lecture number 2. In this lecture number 2, I have included one of the published paper recently in year of 2020. In this paper, they have shown us how the context-free grammar can be used for any language, right? So they have used, others have used the Serbian language, the context-free grammar, okay? So the title of the paper, that is the syntax analysis of Serbian language using the context-free grammar. Okay, so they consider the natural language, that is the Serbian language, and they have tested whether the syntax of such a language is correct or not using the context-free grammar. But the context-free grammar they have used with the probability and stochastic context-free grammar mechanism. Okay. So let's start with the paper. In the abstract, they say syntax analysis is one of the major phases in the natural language processing. Okay, natural language processing means that we are speaking and we are writing. So this is the natural language processing. Okay, the syntax analysis, like we have paragraph or we have one sentence. So we need to do analysis whether it's correct or not grammatically. All right. So for this, we need the syntax analysis for language, natural language processing. In this paper, they have considered the cerebral language, okay, based on the context-free grammar. So they introduced two mechanisms for syntax analysis of cerebral language. The first mechanism they use tagging or triggers. Post tracking means that we have to identify whether in such paragraph or in such syntax how many are adjective, subjective, nouns and verbs and so on. Okay, so there is the first mechanism, first step here they use. In the second mechanism, they have considered the context-free grammar, which is the probabilistic or stochastic for cerebral language. Okay, and they have tested this the implementation and the results using the Python with the library natural language tool. Okay, and they claim that we have obtained the correct syntax, that is the 74% of our sentences. Next, we come to the natural language processing (NLP), the primary concern with enabling computer to understand and generate text written in the natural language. Okay, so they are saying that where we can use the context-free grammar for computer understanding, right? For the language process, for the natural language processing. So first we have the application for natural language processing, that is the information extraction. Information extraction means we have to get the valuable information from the document or from the text or from the speech as well. Second, we can use the NLP or natural language processing for machine translation. Like sometimes we need to translate the written text, or sometimes we need to translate the speech wording, okay, into another language. Third, we have the sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis mean we have to extract important information like how many subjects are there, how many verbs, and how many non-adjective, and so on. That is the sentiment analysis. Next, we text summarization. Sometimes we have a string of 400 and 500 in length. We need to shorten. So that shorten, we may use the mechanism, the text summarization. Okay, it reduces the unimportant words or keywords and places the important keywords in the string. Okay. Next, we have that is the question answering technique. Like whenever we design a robot, so the user can ask a different question from robot. So how the robot can handle such or different question from a user. So for that we need natural language processing, right? That is done with the question answering mechanism. Okay. After that, they have related work. So the related work they classified The first one, we have the parsing based on the context-free grammar, and this parsing based context-free grammar, they use two approaches in the existing work, that is the bottom up and top down. However, both mechanisms have their own pros and cons. Okay, so which one is a good one? That is depend. Second, they use the statistical parsing. In the statistical parsing, they have replaced the context-free grammar with another technique that is called uh, probabilistics or stochastic context-free grammar. Okay, for that they generate the rules or productions, as we know from the lectures. Okay, so they use one of the equation, like, so we have the non-terminal A is equal to beta in P. So P is the probabilistic technique actually. Okay, that is vary according to the problem in the domain of the problem as well. Like we are designing the report for health informatics, right, or using for big data analytics. So that is depend. That's why they have used the P as a probabilistic technique. Okay, so that could represent actually the domain of the problem. So most of them, they're using the this equation probabilistic. Okay, the proposed mechanism, they have used the pause taking. In the pause taking, according to the Cerebral language, they have 10 different speech tags. Okay, this 10 different speech tags, they should identify or take what are those element in such sentences or a paragraph. Like we may say, like in Cerebral, they can say noun, adjective, numbers, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, preposition, conjunction, uh, particle, and interjection. Okay, so for that they use a classification mechanism using the post tagging. Okay, this post tagging has been implemented by the supervised machine learning mechanism. Okay, for training the machine regarding a different kind of words or paragraph or sentences, how they will identify in such sentences whether we have noun, adjective, or what are the elements are there. For implementation purposes, they have used the Python with the library. This is called Natural Language Toolkit. Okay, inside Python, and they have used the NaiBytes classifier for classification of sentences using consulting these 10 points. For training the data, they have used this library or data sets, Spark Limb Core. Okay, they have used, and another data they have used with from the web, that is the Sarvec. Okay, for different representation. Okay, the feature extraction. Feature mean which denote whether the syntax is grammatically correct or not, or it is according to the sequence or not. That is the feature. If we talk in the natural language processing. Okay, like for example, in the health informatics, how we can identify whether the patient have a heart issue or no. Okay, so for that we have to know the basic symptoms, like whether the ECG is good, where the pain of a patient inside the body, and so on. So like these are the features. Okay, so here we have the feature for cerebral language. They have selected like word itself, whether it's the first word in the sentence or it's the last sentence, and the word in in the sentence, whether does it start with capital, and so on and so on. So they have identified different features according to the structure of the cerebral language. Okay, so they have different classifications. So based on these features, they say whether the syntax is grammatically correct or not, and the sequence is correct or not. Okay. Further, they use another mechanism, which is the second mechanism, the syntax analysis. Okay, in the syntax analysis, they use Python. Okay, and they include some basic features like a starting symbol of the grammar. Okay, terminal symbols like string which contain tags that trigger recognize, and third point, grammar rules that have only one non-terminal symbol on the left side. So they use the syntax analysis, okay, for the given paragraph or sentences. Here they have one paragraph, okay. So they can say this is the non-adjective, this is the genetic, this is the data. So they have different tags, okay, for the Serbian language. Then they say structure of the sentence, okay. But every language has their own grammar and conditions how we can write, okay. So for structure for cerebral sentences they have their own, they mention in the paper, okay. Then they say the subject, there are two type of subject in the cerebral language, okay. One is logical, the second we have the grammatical and so on. Then they have the prediction, whether it's we are going in the right direction in the sentence or not, okay. So they have actually considered different thing for the prediction. If we see, like here we have the time, okay, yes, yeah, time, place, means or cause, okay. So they have used different thing, okay, to predict whether it's the language sentence is correct according to our language or not. These are built-in libraries they have used, okay. These are the cerebral language, okay. So they have again a syntax for Python language, okay. The explanation over here. Then they did evaluation, okay. So they select the one of the book, and from their book they tested the Serbian language using the context-free grammar. So the title of the book, that is the programming language Java with solve problem, okay. So in the table they have mentioned category, number of sentences, and person. Sentences with one or more correct tree, okay, 74% they are claiming the achievement. The other thing, sentences with a wrong tree, 0% they are claiming. In unrecognized sentences, they did the 26%, okay. So based on this, they claim that we have achieved 74% of the improvement for the cerebral language using the context-free grammar with the support of supervised machine learning algorithm. Okay, so for that machine learning algorithm, they consider the Navy-based network algorithm. Okay, they divide the language in the tree form in the cerebral language. That is the cerebral language. Okay, this is the SIG. This is the Rinsikia. I don't know what is the meaning of this Rinsikia, and so on. Okay, so they have classified the structure of the cerebral language using this mechanism. Okay, like they say, example of the generated syntax tree. Okay, this is syntax tree for a cerebral language, like where we can say where could be the a verb, adjective, non-adjective, and so on. So this is the whole structure. Hopefully you have understand this one, and I will give you a major presentation from the research paper, which is the final presentation, right? So I will share later those paper to all of you. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.